IWC sure have some aces in the pilot's watch game. Their Top Gun series are the toughest of the bunch, with a no-holds-barred approach to the watch as a vital flight instrument. While you might recognise a whiff of nostalgia in those large sword hands and the onion crown, that's where the mid-century clues stop, and instead you can picture yourself in the cockpit of an F-18E Super Hornet jet, pulling 3 Gs turning on a time-critical mission across the desert. Before we strap in, put our helmets on and take off with IWC, make sure you subscribe to our channel and hit that bell icon so you do not miss any of our new videos, and if you enjoy this one, please comment below. Let's just blame my lack of reading press releases, but I'm quietly wowed by the warm glow of sand, and it's not the dark wrist weapon I associate with the imposing Top Gun series. Holding the IWC Big Pilot's Watch Top Gun edition and the Perpetual calendar, I'm just fascinated by how much materiality changes perceptions. Don't get me wrong, I still feel like there's a staff sergeant watching me, quietly shaking his head as me, a mere civilian, dare strap on the minimalist 46mm weapon. And while it looks no less the weapon-like instrument it is, it's entirely transformed through the sand-coloured ceramic case. The contrast and look is markedly apparent, first through the light weight, then the soft feel of the innately tactile case. It's just large, but it draws me in with its calm minimalism, as if some sort of horological totem carved out of sandstone, like a symbol of the standing IWC has in the closed world of Army and Navy pilots, the best of which are deserving of the mythical 6 letters Top Gun. The IWC Big Pilot's Watch Perpetual Calendar Top Gun edition, on the other hand, gives me an even stronger feeling of sweet conflict, and while it sits prominently on my wrist, its enigmatic dial is spellbinding, and I'm silently nodding in approval as the 46.5mm size seems only just right for what is a vastly complex caliber within. And I'll warn you, there's a strong possibility of me repeating myself using words as juxtaposition and contrast. Why? I mean, one glance and you'll see a watch that will look seriously cool with a linen suit by the pool in Marrakesh with a Negroni. Those colours just exude a smooth, warm glow that only sand and beige tones can produce. But the second you put it on your wrist, you feel a full desert camouflage suit missing, a helmet and a Humvee. Why? Because the substantial case of the 3-hand Big Pilot's Watch has a lightness, yet you can feel the strength, and this is the first time IWC uses this sand-coloured ceramic. Friendly of colour, yet intensely complex to manufacture in what is one of the hardest substances on Earth. Polycrystalline powders are the base, mixed with auxiliary materials and sintered in a furnace at extreme temperatures. Tough? I thought you'd never ask, because this has got a Vickers rating second only to that of diamonds. Just picture a top-trained armed Navy SEAL wearing a soft suede jacket and a smile. Would you mess with him? I didn't think so. Both watches come on a classic sand-coloured rubber strap with a fabric inlay, another example of IWC's evolved comfort and strength ratio. The Perpetual calendar has the intense complexity of a pure instrument dial, and while the large onion crown is a pure delight to use and is an exemplary piece of functional design, while purely traditional in its shape, the mission leader here would be the IWC Big Pilot's Watch Perpetual calendar. It's an uber complex yet still very legible dial, and that's not something you could say about all QPs. The 52-615 caliber is a well-known self-winding 7-day mechanical movement. Glance at the dial and be prepared for a visual assault of the senses that only a Perpetual calendar can bring. But here there's a feeling of synchronized calm through the use of those muted colors without using any sharp details. The dark brown dials create a calm atmosphere for the barrage of information, and the creamy sand color of the applied loom to the circle of minute marks and Arabic numerals quietly frames the dashboard of a balanced layout. So there's a quiet sharpness in the displays for the date, day, month, and those year in 4 digits, and there's a perpetual moon phase for both northern and southern hemispheres, and a stepped dial within the day display at 9 for the small hacking seconds. Size of the watch is easily explained by the need for clear information, and the baffling 7 days of power reserve is yet another reason for the 15.4mm thickness, well worth that substantial wrist presence. The IWC Big Pilot's Watch Top Gun edition with its minimalist pilot's dial is the same size and equally balanced. You still have the same calm, smooth case with its rock-like strength, well, it's actually harder than most rocks, and a perfect dial design. Bereft of complications, the IWC Pilot's design is laid bare in its pure evolution. This three-hander has a pure legibility at 5 feet, and while the Perpetual calendar is quietly masterful and in command, this is a watch, a damn tough one, with one purpose: to present a legible display while being indestructible at the same time as having an intensely calm demeanour. The brown and beige sword hands befits a true pilot's watch. You've got superb loom and a vast power reserve shown in a recessed register at 3 o'clock. The purity of the three-hand version is powered by the 7-day 52-110 caliber, a solid twin barrel movement with a 28,000 EPH beat rate. It makes for instrument purity within the impressive ceramic case. And this three-hand model is a series not limited, but limited to 250 pieces per year, which is a result of the manufacturing process for the new sand-colored ceramics being very complex. The 52-615 caliber within the IWC Big Pilot's Watch Perpetual calendar Top Gun is as complex as it is an intrinsic part of IWC's arsenal. With its 54 jewels and 7 days of power reserve, the IWC Schaffhausen movement is as ingenious as it is easily read, a mechanical program developed way back in the 1980s by their former head watchmaker Kurt Klaus. As an example, the moon phase display correctly depicts the moon phase for the northern and southern hemispheres, and only needs to be adjusted by 1 day after 577.5 years. All displays are fully synchronized and can be advanced in itself by the single large crown. You get a fascinating view of the 82 component caliber through the sapphire caseback, where it features a 4-digit year display and is reinforced by virtually wear-free ceramic components. Production of this Perpetual calendar version will be limited to 150 a year. So, I bet you want to know if I actually feel tough enough for one of these sand-coloured Top Gun ceramic flight instruments. I mean, on the wrist, both of these 46mm instruments are similar yet vastly different. The comfort belies the size, and there's the pure joy of simple legibility and the supremely tactile sand-coloured ceramic that makes the three-hand model a smooth twist to the usual hard contrast of a monochrome pilot's watch. There's just that simple joy in knowing that something so touch-inviting as the surface of this warm-feeling ceramic is one of the most scratch-proof materials you can ever wear on your wrist. The Perpetual calendar, on the other hand, is just a lesson in how much feelings can change with a case that has the faded colour of warm sand, with your knowledge that within lies the pinnacle of German horological pilot's watch engineering. While the dial might seem complex to the uninitiated, there's a pureness of form that it can only come through the evolution within IWC, making this a totem to the horological engineering of Kurt Klaus.